You know, much of the work of this committee is done alongside the work of the Government Accountability Office, which provides reporting to the Oversight Committee as well as the whole of government and the public about vulnerabilities in overall federal operations. In 2020, the GAO, said office, reported that Border Patrol does not currently have reliable information on deaths, serious injuries, and suicide attempts, and has not consistently reported deaths of individuals to Congress. And in 2022, the GAO again found that Border Patrol has not collected and recorded or reported to Congress complete data on migrant deaths or disclosed associated data limitations. Chiefs Chavez and Modlin, why is that?
Ma'am, thank you for the question. What I can tell you is that I think anytime a migrant dies in the desert, you know, in the mountains, it's horrific. And as discussed earlier, it's, you know, the cartels are putting these people in grave danger. In the area that I work, it's 4 or 5 days for most people to get to the border up to a place where they can be picked up by a smuggler. So those are incredibly treacherous things. What I'll tell you too is often, you know, when someone is found in the desert that has perished, that person could have been there for 2 or 3 years. You know, the area that I work is very different than others, so I think our numbers probably tend to be a little harder to lock down. But I do know that certainly the numbers have increased this year, I believe nationwide. I don't think it's commensurate to the amount of people that are crossing, because one of the things that we've done is put a tremendous amount of focus. I've got close to 300 EMTs. And
I'm sorry, I have to.
Yes, ma'am.
I don't have much time. What about in custody? Deaths in custody or suicide attempts in custody?
Congresswoman, thank you for the question. So information like that of migrants that attempt suicide or migrants that die in custody, we actually have evolved and have some really good record keeping. Maybe it's as a result of the GAO reporting. I'm not sure, but I know as a fact that when it comes to our central processing centers, we have now ramped up camera systems that are very robust. So now we're recording everything.
Understood.
So the tracking is impeccable now, where the reporting is constant for us.
Thank you. And we'll be sure to follow up on that information. And Chief Modlin, Pima County falls under your sector, correct?
Did you say Pima County, ma'am? Yes.
Thank you. Are you aware of the militia group known as Veterans on Patrol?
Yes, ma'am.
And are you aware that this organization is a designated hate group by the Southern Poverty Law Center?
Yes, ma'am, I'm aware.
Are you aware that agents in Pima County, CBP agents in Pima County, have had regular contact and according to this report, seems to have received assistance from this organization?
Ma'am, I think it's important to define what assistance is. What I will tell you is whether it's Pima County or any of the other 3 border counties, if someone calls and says there's illegal activity on the border, then we do respond. And obviously some of those calls will come from militia groups, whether it's that or others, or sometimes there's other groups out there, humanitarian groups as well, that will call us and tell us that someone's in need of medical response or something.
Thank you. I ask because Veterans on Patrol, again, a designated hate group, does publish quite a bit of their own media, which includes agents in some of these videos that they post. In one, over the course of the conversation, an agent greets militia members with a high five. This is an organization that spreads anti-Semitic conspiracies and beyond. And I was wondering if your sector has a policy regarding agents interfacing with known members of designated hate organizations.
Thanks again for the question, ma'am. So what I can tell you is that I don't know that it's possible to separate all interaction with any group that's down on the border. Certainly, we do not encourage militia groups or anyone else to be in the border environment. But we do respond, again, if someone calls and says there's someone in distress that needs us or that they've witnessed some illegal action on the border.
If you were to discover agents actively working with hate groups and militias, would their employment be terminated?
Our agents, ma'am, are all part of a bargaining unit. So that CBP has a table of penalties, and then of course that they're afforded right to representation and stuff. So I don't know that I could say that, what would and wouldn't trigger an automatic termination, but there would certainly be a disciplinary process.
Thank you.